Anushka Man, and I welcome you back to my channel. So today I am here at home and I dug deep and found these notes that I used for my CAT preparation in 2023. This is the pool of resources that helped me score 99.04 percentile in CAT 2023 examination with just 5 months of preparation. So I thought that I should share the best things out of this huge pile with you guys so that it can help you in your preparation as well. So for today's video, what I have thought is I have found out I'll be talking about the tips and tricks for the VARC section, which helped me to boost my scores in the reading comprehensions specifically. So let's get started. First of all, there are a lot of non-engineers who keep asking in the comment section that they are not that good at mathematics. How will they compete with the people who have had mathematics all their life, and will they be able to score a good percentile in CAT? So for those people, I'm saying this based out of experience and also on the basis of the experiences of people around me as well who have scored 99 plus percentile in the CAT examination. So VARC is that section that if you make it strong enough, then you will be able to compensate for your overall CAT percentile really well. I know that for a fact two examples. Like one of them is my colleague at the college. So this person, he got the cutoff score in the quants and the DLR section, but he scored 50 marks in the VARC section, which is about 99.5 plus percentile. So he was really good at it. He knew it was his strength, and hence he worked really hard to make VARC such a strong suit for himself that it compensated for the other sections as well. So for those people who are worried that whether or not they'll be able to score a good CAT percentile, you can do that. You just need to understand what are your strengths and weaknesses, and if VARC is your strength, then you should work to make it perfect. If it's not, then don't worry, we'll work on it together. So now VARC section, you have got 40 minutes. Now the one strategy that really helped me was you have got 40 minutes, break it down for every single type of questions that is there. You have to follow this particular thing in whilst while you're doing the preparation for CAT, that everything that you have, break it down into simpler pieces. Make it as simple as possible for yourself. For example, if you have 40 minutes, now I know for a fact this is something that I used to do as a mistake as well, that in the 40 minutes sometimes you are not able to complete the RCs, or that you spend too much time on a particular RC and you don't have time left for para jumbles or para summary. So how do you go about all these things? So what I used to do was, towards the end of my preparation, like closer to the examination, I'll tell you how I built myself. I had allotted 16 minutes hard stop for the reading comprehension section, and I was able to attempt 3.5 to 4 RCs. Like there are total 4 RCs in the exam, I was able to attempt 3.5 to 4 RCs with good amount of accuracy in those 16 minutes. And that's the kind of speed and accuracy I had built for myself towards the end of the this preparation journey. And the rest of the time I was able to devote to the other parts of the VARC section, that is the para jumbles, para summaries, fill in the blanks, etc. Now this time frame, this sounds like a long short thing and might sound like something which is not achievable, but this is something that happened gradually. When I started preparation, I was not even able to solve one RC properly with accuracy. I remember that in my initial mocks, I took about 10 minutes per RC, and then I took about 25 minutes or so for the RC section, jisme I could only complete 2 RCs. And apart from that, then I did not have adequate amount of time for the para jumbles and para summary. So first strategy that I want you to do when you're attempting the mocks or solving the questions is, if you are a beginner right now, allot 20 minutes of your time for the RC section. 20 minutes is hard stop. Whether or not you are done with 1 or 2 of your RCs doesn't matter. After 20 minutes, you move on to the other questions, the other part of the VARC section. So in those 20 minutes, so say for example, currently if you have just started preparation, I would suggest that maybe you can take for the initial 3 to 4 mocks, you can take about 8 to 10 minutes per RC. Where, on an average, the ideal time initially should be 8 minutes, but if not so, then 8 to 10 minutes per RC. So basically, in one mock, you should be able to solve 2 RCs in 20 minutes. I hope it's not that confusing. So what I'm saying is, to put in simpler words, if you are a beginner right now, allow 20 minutes of your 40 minutes to the RC section, and out of that, allot around 10 minutes per RC, which should include finding out the RC which you want to attempt, reading through it properly, and also attempting the questions with accuracy. So, and gradually as you proceed in your preparation journey, I would suggest that you see how much progress you are making, and if you are able to shorten the time frame in which you are solving each RC, and whether or not you are able to bring down those 20 minutes to around say 16 minutes for RCs, for the RC section, so that you put a major amount of time, a significant amount of time to the other questions as well. So this is how you can break down your slot, break down your time as per your convenience. Now coming on to how to go about reading a particular RC. Now the reading comprehension section is a lot about whether how quickly you are able to go through the passage that you have, and also how much is your comprehension power and speed. And initially the complexity of the passages that you find in the CAT examination, you might find the complexity pretty high if you're not that well versed with the English language, or if you're sort of out of touch with reading passages and all. So one exercise that I used to do every single day, and I keep reiterating it again and again, is because it helped me a lot. It was, first of all, to increase your reading and comprehension speed. Spend 30 minutes of your day every single day to read a passage from Aeon. Now Aeon, Aeon is a website which has multiple passages, and every day it uploads a new essay on a new topic. So what I used to do was, I used to spend, the first thing that I did every morning was spend 30 minutes hard stop in reading that essay and understanding the crux, the main argument of that particular essay. Now the thing is that these essays on Aeon platform, they are pretty complex, and initially you will find that you are half of the time you're devoting looking up the word meanings and understanding what are they even trying to say, and that's totally fine. Please do not get demotivated if you're not able to read the complete essay, which is not possible initially in your initial days of preparation, because it's a 4,000 word essay. All I want you to do is that eventually, gradually, as you keep repeating this practice every single day, your reading time will speed up, and also your understanding power will also increase. So what I used to do every day when I used to read the Aeon essays was that for every word that I found out which was tough, and initially, trust me, even for me VRC was a very strong suit, and still I found that I was like looking up a lot of words in the passage itself, but that's totally fine. You write those words, you see, I don't know if you can see it properly or not, you write those words with the meaning, you see, and I used to repeat this every single day. For every word I used to write the meaning. Now gradually, in the initial days, the number of words per passage were a lot, but initially my comprehension speed and power improved, and the number of words that I couldn't understand also kept on decreasing. So this is one practice that I suggest people to improve your reading speed and also your comprehension speed. Another thing, for people who are not that comfortable with English language, and for those people, I have the one book in my entire life which I have found absolutely useful in improving your vocabulary in the simplest way, is this book called Norman Lewis, Word Power by Norman Lewis. Now this is the book, this is my copy. Now this book improves your vocabulary in a span of just a week, and in such a simple structured manner, and I have not found a book as simple and as effective as this. If you could see, it also has my pencil markings, because at the end of every chapter you have the these exercises that you have to do, And this is a book that I bought a copy for my own brother as well, because I felt that no, this is such a good book, everyone should have this. So I would suggest that if you are someone who struggles with vocabulary initially and are not very comfortable with it, I would suggest you buy this copy. It is available on Amazon as well. And take a pencil and try to complete this book within a week. I know it looks very intimidating, but it's absolutely not. One chapter will take you just around 10 to 15 minutes, and in one chapter you are able to learn around 20 or more words. And those words that you learn, you are not going to forget them, and they keep on getting reiterated in the passages you read in CAT. So very effective. So these were the two things that I would suggest if you want to improve your reading speed and comprehension speed and your vocabulary. Now coming to the main reading comprehension part. Now in your initial days of preparation, you would be going with the strategy of choosing the two best reading comprehensions that are there in the mocks. So I don't have a definitive answer as to how you can choose it, but when you keep reading passages on Aeon, and when you solve the RCs, or if you skim through the passage, upar se if you read it, you'll get an idea of whether or not you're comfortable with this particular topic. Like for me, for example, I was really comfortable with topics related to psychology, technology, something about ancient history, something like that. But I was not comfortable with topics which were related to, say, politics, something that I found really boring to read about. So initially I would suggest that when you skim through the passage upar se, when you are doing your mocks, just see whether or not you are comfortable with those topics, then go through and read the passage and solve the questions. Now, how to read the passage properly? So now the thing is that every passage that you read has only one theme. Theme is the overarching thing based on which the entire paragraph is revolving around. So you have to identify, and usually the theme is described in the first one or two paragraph itself. You get an idea of, okay, this is what the topic is talking about. So first, there is the theme that you have to identify in the passage. That, for example, if the topic or the passage is about something related to AI, they are telling the story of a cyborg or a robot, or about something about a chat GPT and its effects on the students and this and that, and that's all you are reading in the passage. However, the main theme of that passage is around artificial intelligence. Now, so you have to identify in the first one or two paragraphs what is the main theme, overarching theme of that particular passage. Second thing that you have to identify is the argument of the author. Now you've identified the theme. What is the author trying to say about that theme? Is he against it? Is he in for? Is he giving some pros and cons? What exactly is the stance of the author regarding that particular theme? Maybe that passage is all about how ChatGPT is hampering the ability of students in completing their essays properly or their assignments properly. But the main crux of the passage could be that overarching theme is artificial intelligence. The argument of the author could be that he is against the use of artificial intelligence or in the lives of the students. That is the main argument, and then comes the conclusion. Now, conclusion could be either definitive, that the author believes this is the thing, or the author believes this is the right thing, or the author believes this is the wrong thing. So he could have a definitive stance as to what is the conclusion. But sometimes the conclusions, and this is something you will find very often, the conclusions are very open-ended. They leave it up to your imagination as to what they want. So the three things, the first time you read any passage in CAT, is first of all identifying the overarching theme, which is usually described in the first one or two paragraphs. Second, identify the argument of the author, whether he is for, against, giving pros and cons. What is he talking about the theme? What is his stance about the overarching theme of the passage? And third is the conclusion. Now, every other thing that you have in the passage is just noise. Now, and that is a fact. Like all other things that you have in the essays, in the passage, is just noise to support the arguments. It is something which is not going to help you solve your questions. And a lot of people, they are not able to solve the questions properly, or they get confused in 2-3 options, is because they tend to look at those extra things that are there in the passage, something that the question is not even asking about. So for example, like I was telling you, suppose there is a passage which talks about how ChatGPT is hampering the ability of student to do their assignments with honesty. Now the overarching theme of the passage is artificial intelligence. The argument of the author is that he is somewhat against the use of artificial intelligence in the lives of students. However, if you do not have that ability to identify the theme and the argument, you're going to focus on random facts like, okay, ChatGPT did this in these assignments, students are cheating, like some extra noise that is there in the paragraph which is not even relevant to the entire theme or argument. So that's how you identify the theme and the argument. Next thing that you should be doing, now mind you, these things that I followed, these really helped me in boosting my scores in the VARC section. Like I remember, like in the October and November month, all the mocks that I was giving, I was able to score 99 plus percentile in all the mocks for in the VARC section especially. So this is something that helped me boost my scores like this. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. Another thing that you should do is that people make a lot of mistakes is in how to read the questions and approach the questions. Whenever you're going through the question, read it twice, thrice, and understand what the question is trying to ask. Now always remember that there are never two correct options for any questions, no matter what the situation is. It's always one correct answer for one question, and if you are getting confused in two options, that means that there is some lack of understanding in what the question is trying to ask you. Now there could be very minute details that maybe you have to understand, or maybe something you are not able to identify the theme and the argument properly. Something related to these three things is what would cause you to get confused in two options. So I would suggest that if such a situation occurs wherein you look at two options and you think they both are same, just go through the question again, read it again properly, and then come back to the two options, understand what is the difference between the two options and which one matches more accurately to the theme and the argument of the passage rather than the facts. Now the CAT examination, it does not expect you to do line by line matching. Like for example, they don't expect you to do read the passage, find the exact line and tick it and mark it in the MCQs. That's something you used to do in school. They're not testing your reading abilities or finding abilities. They are testing your comprehension abilities, whether or not you are able to understand. So never rely on line by line matching. Okay, like this is the sentence given in the passage, this is a sentence given in the MCQ, I'll just mark it. That is a very wrong strategy, and in maximum number of times it is going to be wrong. So I suggest you understand the theme and argument of the passage and mark your answers basis those rather than the extra facts and noise that are there. Now following these tips and tricks, you will be able to boost your scores in the reading comprehensions. I don't wish to elongate the video any further so that it's easier for you as well. If you want to come back to this video and refer to it, I'll just end it over here. Now I would want to share this last thing with you guys, something which is written over here, which my mentor shared with me. It is that if you want to score 99 plus percentile in the CAT examination in the VARC section, so you should attempt about 22 to 24 questions. Now this is something that happens gradually. Obviously initially you won't be able to have such a speed and accuracy, but to achieve 99 plus percentile in VARC, you should attempt 22 to 24 questions, and out of those 3 to 4 questions could be wrong and around 15 questions should be correct. So minimum 15 correct questions and 3 to 4 wrong questions, that is the wrong questions will have negative marking. And if you are able to achieve this particular thing, then you will get around 39 to 42 marks. So minimum 15 correct questions and 3 to 4 wrong questions will enable you to get minimum 39 to 42 marks, and that is approximately equal to 99 plus percentile in the CAT examination in the VARC section. Now this is something I would want you to note down on a chit on a sheet of paper and stick it on your study table, and something that maybe you can look at as your North Star during your preparation journey. If you have any questions, any queries, please jot them down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them and also make videos for the topics that I find relevant and something that could help you in your preparation journey. Wish you all the best and see you in the next video. Bye bye.